Yeah.
I mean, you had the timer and everything.
So do we try again, or?
Fuck it. Let's keep rolling.
Adds to the charm.
Yes, to say goodbye to any hope of advertising revenue on our Cool. So, you guys, having just kind of expertly dispatched the Leshen you encountered on the road to Runeling, you carried on your journey and you kind of arrived at the village. So Yendorn, obviously you've seen this before, but for the others, Runeling is kind of a much larger affair than the village of Acom that you've previously visited. Instead of a few huts kind of gathered around a square, you can see that there's actually kind of a small resemblance to streets with a few buildings on it. There's even a wooden palisade to kind of keep the worst of what's out there from getting into the village. But as you kind of stroll through the gates, with Yendorn leading the way, the kind of sentries on the palisades, they kind of let you in. They've recognised Yendorn. He was only here a few days ago, and word has spread quite quickly about the presence of this wormling that was previously kind of thought to have been just a lesser being, like a bear or something. So you guys kind of work your way into the village. Yendorn, you kind of make your way through the kind of the crowds, and you get to the kind of house where you dealt with the Elderman before.
Yep. Is the door open, or can I knock?
So the door's slightly ajar. There's kind of no real need for it to be closed and locked in a village like this.
Okay, so I sort of knock as I walk in.
Sure. So the door swings open with kind of a loud creak. It's kind of questionable whether the hinges were ever good to start with, but they've clearly not been oiled in a long time. And inside you can see that the kind of the interior is kind of kitted out to function as the kind of town's main kind of meeting room. There are a few kind of chairs scattered around and kind of a large open space. And kind of sitting near the fireplace in a rocking chair is the Elderman, who has kind of noticed that you've walked in, and he rises to meet you. Ah, the Slayer, back so soon? I see you've brought friends too this time, as the rest of you file in behind him.
Yes, this is a contract we feel like we cannot delay on.
Well, I'm glad you feel that way, because I feel that way too. God, you should have seen the chaos when word got out that there was a dragon nearby.
Oh yes, they are very good at instilling fear among the people.
And for good reason too. They'll be after more than our livestock if we leave them too long. But we will obviously give you whatever help we can in preparing for your task ahead of you.
So, what do we know of the dragon?
Until recently, we didn't know it existed. I'm afraid I don't have anything for you.
I'm afraid all I know is its color. It's a red dragon, and it's very young. That's all we have to go off.
Well,
so, from what we've learned, before we arrived, the dragon most likely will dwell in some sort of mountainous region. Where would we be looking for something like that?
Yes, we also learnt that young dragonlings aren't ever too far from their parents, so we should proceed with caution while hunting it.
Parents? That kind of, he noticeably kind of is a bit disgruntled at the mention of a parent.
Well,
You didn't say there was a parent nearby. Are we safe? Should we evacuate?
Well, I mean, where did you think dragons came from?
I feel like if the parents were nearby, you would know about it. They wouldn't just be sending out the young one, surely, to hunt on its own.
Well, you think it's an orphan?
Oh, I couldn't say. We'll have to investigate more before we know for certain.
Yes, experiments required.
So, anyway, as for where the dragon may be hiding or where it may have made its lair, do you have any idea? As I said, some sort of hilly, mountainous sort of region.
We have some minor hills, but nothing really resembling a mountain as such. It's probably about half a day's travel southeast of here.
Where are we on the map, Crispy? Just for
So let me move you guys to where you'd kind of roughly be.
cool. So to the southeast.
Half a day's travel.
Yeah, probably down here by this lake then.
Yeah. Perhaps with some luck, Havel may be able to track some footprints or such from the young dragon.
I've got a few experiments in mind that we could do prior to the hunt that may give us an advantage in the fight.
Certainly. We'll have to do some preparation before we set out, but is there anything else we can learn? I mean, perhaps we know everything about this beast there is to know.
Well, I do have a certain plan, you see.
Okay.
If we're going after this dragon, it's likely we're going to be fighting it in a lair, a home territory. But perhaps it'd be possible to lure it out of that territory, fight it on our own terms.
And how would you suggest we lure a young dragon?
Well, you remember the potion I did when I took one of your hairs, Yanvorn? I propose that I do the same with the dragon scale that you have. That way, I'll turn into a miniature dragon. I'll have the senses of a dragon. I'll be able to learn what gold smells like, what it tastes like, what it feels like. I can enchant something to smell very strongly of gold to a dragon. And using that smell, you see, red dragons have a high, a keen admiration for gold. They covet it. So if I can make something smell of gold so strongly, it may lure him out. But first, I need to know what gold smells like. You see, my nose isn't really that refined. I don't know what elf sense of smell is like, but gnome certainly isn't that refined.
That would be half elf.
Yes, whatever.
That's quite an inspired plan.
Did you expect any less?
Yes, I like the sound of this plan. I will just have to remember what we did with this red dragon scale. I can't remember where I put it. Crispy.
So you kept this red dragon scale after Dolasar kind of handed it to you to inspect.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember whether he took it or I kept it.
Yeah, it was kind of released to you.
Oh, there it is. Back pocket. I don't use it very often. Yeah, so
what
see
on earth would you
can do
use it? Never mind. I may as well take the sample now. I just take the scale and scrape some of the membrane from the inner side of it into a potion.
Yandorn walks to the door and closes it so no one outside can see a small dragon if he turns into one.
Well,
Yeah,
how small will it still be Toric's size? Or?
Yeah, when he turned into
Our
Yandorn.
quest giver is with us, and the last thing he said was, "I
I think.
adult dragon? And he's really concerned, and we're just like, oh, let's brew some potions.
I tell you what. I think it might be a cool idea for Titus to not see Torik's little experiments again, because we're here to kill a little dragon. Titus might get confused.
It's a good point.
So I'm gonna stand outside and stand guard of the.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the
Presumably-
time?
Okay. So, Torek, you kind of scrape the inside of this scale, and kind of a little bit, it kind of comes off under your blade, and you kind of scoop it all into a vial and begin the preparations of all your ingredients.
Excellent.
The Elderman is kind of looking on curiously. He kind of overheard the conversation, so he kind of roughly knows what's going on, but
Yeah.
he's probably not seen anything like this before.
Yeah. Tell me, are you privy to the ways of magic?
Well, not particularly. We've a few women who claim to be able to put hexes on things around here, but I never really bought into it.
Okay. Just keep an open mind. Things are going to get a little loopy. Everyone amass their gold in a nice big pile so I can get a good sniff.
Can I just ask as well, what's the sort of trade of this village?
So this is a kind of a farm based. So it's agricultural.
Okay.
There's one less, but there were previously a few goats kind of being farmed close to the walls, and then some arable crops.
Oh yeah, it just occurred to me just how much a missing goat really makes a difference to a town like this. Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, carry on.
Cool. Once everyone's done that, I guess I... Oh, do you reckon it's worth getting a smell of sheep as well? Okay, I drink the potion.
Okay, so Torek, as you drink the potion, you kind of stand there expectantly. Kind of nothing seems to happen. Then you get like a kind of a horrible itching sensation, kind of first on your arms. Kind of as you go to scratch it, your kind of skin falls away to reveal red scales. And soon this kind of itching is kind of enveloping your entire torso, and kind of as you scratch, you basically just proceed to kind of molt, leaving behind a kind of very small but fully formed kind of
Fascinating.
wormling.
Fascinating.
So as this is happening, Torek kind of goes from common to draconic.
It's okay, Ruin can understand him.
But yes, you kind of turn to the pile of gold that's been presented to you, and you take a whiff of it, and you kind of realize there's no distinct kind of smell to it. But as you kind of touch one and bite it, to your kind of draconic kind of touch, it seems like gold is quite a soft material.
Nice. I see. Yeah. No, it would naturally feel that way too. A scaled being, wouldn't it? Damn, I was really hoping to get a good whiff. I like.
You realise that the gold would probably make quite a nice kind of bedding material for a creature of your size.
Oh, that's so cool.
You know what? It really has been a long trip ever since we killed that tree thing, huh? Maybe I'll just perch myself on it for a little bit, just you know.
Torek,
So this
remember
small,
why we're here?
the small dragon kind of starts to kind of paw at this pile of loose change that you've kind of assembled, kind of like the way a cat does to a cardboard box. It's quite comfortable for you, Torek.
I fit, so I sit.
Rulen, is this part of the plan?
Huh?
Is this part of the plan? I believe you can understand him, right?
He's it seems like his senses are being overwhelmed some. Rulen sort of takes a couple of steps towards Torek. Come on now, Torek, snap out of it. Remember what the plan is.
Oh yes. Experiment in jeopardy. Yes, I understand.
That's it.
Oh, but it is so comfy.
Focus on the experiments, Torek. Hoping that'll sort of spur him on.
Yes. Oh,
Tarek, as you're kind of sitting there on the gold, you kind of start to feel this like really queasy sensation. Roll me a Constitution roll, please.
Oh, what?
Constitution? That's crazy. Tabletop is still loading. Wouldn't someone mind throwing that for me? I trust Richard.
Okay. And on in Tarek's place.
Nice. What's your Constitution modifier?
My Constitution mod is plus +1.
So that's a 16.
Hey,
So,
nice.
Tarek, you kind of start to feel this queasiness kind of working its way up your throat. And just as it's kind of about to burst out your mouth, you manage to clamp your jaws shut in time, and you kind of feel like the inside of your mouth heat up and kind of smoke comes out of your nostrils. But you manage to contain the little burst of fire before anything bad happens.
Excuse me. Ugh. Should really cut back. Get it?
Like no one can hear you apart from Rulen.
So, Rulen, you've obviously been chatting to Torek, so you were kind of like in the immediate firing line here. You kind of see the smoke come out and like a little glow of orange from behind Torek's teeth, but kind of come away with nothing more than a slightly warm face. No.
Okay, come on now, Torek. This is no time to be stalling. We need to get this done and get you back into your normal self.
Okay, fine. Grab my gauntlet and set it to low and just zap me with it. That'll.
Okay. Rulen picks up the gauntlet. I assume it's just fell to the floor as Torek transformed.
It's actually still on him.
Is it?
Would it be?
Yeah,
I
because
guess I would still be humanoid. I guess. Yeah, I'll just give myself a little zap to
Okay.
try and snap myself out of the spell, break my own concentration.
Okay, so yep, you zap yourself. So with all Constitution saving spells, roll me the dice, Rich.
I opt to fail.
You opt to fail. Okay. So you kind of snap out of it, and the scales start to shed, and you kind of go back to being regular old Torek.
Experiment inconclusive. Unfortunate. I was particularly fond of that idea. I start scribbling in a notebook quite frantically.
Well, you've discovered some things about dragons, maybe not what you're wanting to, but
Yes. They
also
like
all data. I think is something I'm going to be saying to Torek quite a lot.
Wait. No smell. No need for smell at all. Of course, it's brilliant. Anyone who looks over Torek's shoulder at that point, he's just literally just sketching piles of gold in his notebook.
So the alderman who's kind of been watching all this, you can see that his kind of like expression is just one of awe. He was just not expecting to witness what he witnessed when he woke up this morning.
I don't think any of us were.
How did you do that?
Science.
Well, could you science yourself into it again and go and fight that thing?
I don't think I'd be that useful in it. I nearly, I better not admit to it. Anyway, experiment inconclusive. I'm much more deadly in this form, I'll have you know.
If you insist. He kind of looks quite skeptical about that. But, holds his tongue.
That's fair. That's fair. Everyone underestimates the gnomes. I'm used to it.
Do you think you've got what you need to kill this thing? Can it be done?
Oh, yes, everything dies except Tarasks.
To what?
Oh. Never mind. Yes, I think we can do it. Right, fellas? You guys can understand me, right?
Oh,
Yes, you would be back to normal and speaking back in common again.
So, what have you learned, and what's the plan?
Well, the plan changes slightly. Gold has no scent to a dragon, but my goodness, the urge to covet it and lay upon it. I understood. It's like. How do I explain? It's like seeing the perfect pile of hay to just lie in and spend your Sunday evening in with a cool pink lemonade.
Right.
Anyway, using this, though, we can conclude that dragons won't be able to deduce the difference between, say, a pile of gold and I conjure up a small illusion of a pile of gold about 5 feet tall, an illusion of gold. They can't smell it, but they do covet it. If I could lure him out this way, perhaps, but, that is if we're going for the whole luring thing. We could just sneak into his lair and just look for the pile of gold. He's probably sat on top of it.
So, how frequent have the dragon attacks been?
This was the first case we had of livestock going missing.
And
I
how
don't know
long
if it's been targeting other villages too.
Right.
Now,
how long ago was the attack? Sorry.
Oh, it'll have been about just over a week now.
Right. So we can't say for certain when or even if the dragon might return to this particular village. So to lure it out, I understand what you're saying, Torek, but the gold has no smell. The dragon won't know where we are. I guess we'll have to go to it.
yes, I suppose you're right.
Yes, the
Still,
dragon would have
better
to.
than just sitting around with some gold-centered stones waiting for nothing. Not the
Yeah.
biggest waste of a potion I've ever had.
No, but we have learned something interesting. Perhaps when we get closer, we could put your plan into action.
Yes. Well, I think we've learned a lot about dragons, and it's always nice to come in prepared. It feels good to fight something and have the prior knowledge to face it. You know, I can prepare certain solutions for certain situations. I got to admit, fellas, I'm quite excited for this one.
Okay. Excited? Okay. Ruland's not really feeling excited about fighting a dragon. But,
Yeah. Your excitement is not
Ever the
shared among the
realist.
others.
Okay, so what time of day is it, by the way?
So you kind of got here by about midday now that you've spent a while experimenting and chatting.
Okay. Well, we should probably spend the rest of the day in the village and then head out in the morning. How does that sound?
Yes, we would not want to arrive at night.
No, certainly not. We can head out first light, half a day's travel to the southeast, so we should get there with enough light to hopefully find the beast and see it before it sees us.
The old man kind of nods. I could appreciate that fighting this thing is hard enough. Doing so in the dark, even more so. You're welcome to stay here under my roof while you prepare.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
There's not much in the way of beds, but it's warm and it's dry.
That'll do. We have our own bed rolls. Thank you. So I guess Ruin will go outside, tap on the door and tell Titus he can come back inside now, and then fill him in on what's happened.
Mm-hmm. Sure, so Titus, you kind of hear Rulin knocking on the other side of the door.
Titus comes back in and sort of gives one last look at the villagers that were sort of gathering and gossiping, and he picks up, like, when they're talking about, when Ruland's going on about the smell of gold, he sort of stupidly sniffs his gold pouch to see if it does smell of anything. Yeah.
Well, does anyone have any plans for how we can prepare? What sort of... Well, I mean, we could possibly lure the dragon out using this illusory pile of gold, but what then? How do we trap it? How do we fight it?
Maybe if we went to the place where the goat was taken, we could find something else out about the creature.
That's not a bad suggestion, Titus.
Obviously, that's just me saying it.
I like to think that you'd
Perhaps if we,
quite knowledgeable about, tracking monsters and stuff. You're just
more like
quoting your dad.
Titus would like to see goats. Then we'll go out and have a look at where the goats are, and hopefully see where one of the goats was taken from.
Sure. So the village kind of goat pens are kept quite close to the palisades, kind of easy to keep an eye on, and kind of fast to get them inside if necessary. As you kind of walk up to it, you can see that there are about 5 other goats in there. It seems that like the pasture has kind of remained lived in for the past kind of 8-9 days or so. The kind of hooves of the goats, coupled with the rain that's passed, has made it very difficult to single out anything in particular.
Is there any sign of damage around, or anything, Crispy? Any clues where it could have landed or scratched a building nearby or the palisade?
Roll me an investigation.
Can I use survival instead? Oh, not that it matters too much. Can I use survival instead, though?
This is less tracking and more looking for damage.
Okay. Yeah, that's a 4 then for Titus. Investigation is a...
So Titus, with just the overwhelming number of tracks just in this kind of small enclosure, I mean, this is probably like, less than half the size of the usual field.
Okay.
There's not really anything you can deduce.
Okay, he's distracted by the goats then.
Perhaps one of the remaining goats may have seen maybe a direction it travelled.
Why you got to do this to me, Rich?
Oh man, the goat voice. Let's do it.
East.
Jason, you there?
Jason?
Havel.
What?
Are you paying attention?
Nah. Right. You want me to... Is that where we want with this? Sorry, I was in the middle of something. Well, it looks like we are casting Speak with Animals on a goat, please, Crispy.
So you kind of walk up behind Titus, who's kind of like half beating, half petting one of his goats.
God damn it.
And just Speak with Animals on it. Blah, make it stop.
Oh, this is brilliant. Titus, you may want to stop for a moment. Just, I need to speak with our friend there.
Okay, I go off and just start hassling one of the other goats.
Sure. So, Aval, as kind of you free this goat from Titus' assault, it kind of looks up to you expectantly.
Yes, well, now I've freed you, I need to ask you some questions. Recently, have you seen anything a bit odd? A bit bigger than a goat, kind of scaly, maybe shooting fire?
I wish the hand actions that were going physical.
Dragon! Dragon!
Yeah. That'll be the one. Did you see where it came from or where it went?
That way, and it kind of points its head in a kind of roughly southeast direction. The compass points don't really mean anything to a goat, so it just gives you a rough direction.
Okay. Thanks, little man. I'll try and make sure you're not the next snack. So now that I know the... Yeah, so now we know the general direction. Would Havel be able to do any check for tracks in that way, leading?
Yeah, sure. You could roll me a survival to look for any tracks kind of beyond the pen in that.
Oh, he spoke up for me there, so it is.
A survival check, please.
Yeah, by all means. And if it's survival.
Real?
13, that'll be.
So, as you kind of follow the direction the goat kind of nods its head in, you can't see any tracks. However, when you kind of get to the edge of the kind of village boundaries and start the forest, you can see that some of the upper branches in the trees look to be damaged, as if something kind of clipped it when flying.
Ooh, exciting. It flies.
Numbers is big.
Right, I'll head back to where everyone else is. I'm assuming they're still around the pen. And,
Yes, probably.
Just kind of walk over and be like, I think I've found which direction our flying friend went in. And kind of lead everyone to where I see the broken branches.
Mm-hmm. So they're probably a good 30 feet up in the tree line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I'll lead them to where I have seen them and be like, up there, the broken branches. It's definitely been round here.
Well,
Could Triss go over and have a look and see if she can spot anything that Havel and Titus haven't noticed?
Where the pen?
Maybe towards the edge of the forest where he was pointing to. We've kind of already determined that it's going in that direction.
You could have a glance around the forest, I guess. That'd be a survival check.
Right, just get to where the mouse is. Ooh. Did I do anything? Did I do it? 16 plus 7. What the hell are we doing?
Survival.
21? 23.
So,
Yeah.
Triss, as you kind of look around the floor of the forest, you can see some of these kind of broken off branches, and kind of matching the kind of species of branch to the tree. You can see that they kind of fell off and have been knocked, and the momentum of which would kind of indicate that it has kind of continued in a southeasterly direction through this forest. And then about 40 yards in, the kind of broken branches stop. It clearly kind of gains enough altitude by that point to clear them entirely.
Okay,
So
so
you
there
can,
isn't really
you can
much
kind of
of a path
work
to
out that
follow.
like, it's clearly not mastered flying yet, but it can do it.
Cool. I guess, yeah. Let's go that way, maybe. Does anyone else want to have a look around the pen anymore, or?
Well,
Well, I think we were going to rest for the night.
yeah, we're approaching probably early evening by this point, and it's half a day's travel.
We don't want to fight in the dark.
I will say actually, while the evening goes on, I've got a couple of lengths of rope.
Mm-hmm.
Could I fashion some sort of net?
50 feet of rope. Do you say you have?
Yeah.
You could probably fashion a net that's maybe 10 by 10 out of that. Then perhaps. Maybe. In fact, you probably wouldn't even get that much out of a single length
No.
of rope. If you had a couple of things and combine them, then you'd.
Could I ask around the village? Did they say they'd provide us with some assistance?
Yeah, you could ask the alderman for some rope if you wanted to.
Okay, I'll do that. So, well, speaking to the alderman, in regards to us trapping the dragon, it may help if we could build a net of some sort. You wouldn't happen to have a net already around here, would you? Or perhaps you could help with building one?
Well, we don't keep nets around here, but I'm sure somebody's probably got some rope somewhere. I'll go and ask around.
Okay, thank you.
So he goes off, comes back about 15 minutes later with kind of an armful of rope. You reckon there's probably about 100 meters in there.
Nice.
Kind of knotted together. It's kind of a kind of hemp and plant fiber kind of thing.
Huh. Well, seeing as I don't need to sleep as long as the others, would it be fair to say I could build a decent sized net during the night?
I mean, it's quite a dexterous task, so I think Roland would be kind of okay with tying all the knots.
Yeah.
And given that, yeah, as you say, you've got a few more hours than everybody else, I think you'd probably be able to fashion a crude net.
Okay. I'll do for now then.
So you kind of find your way into a corner somewhere and get to work.
That'll be me done for the night, pretty much then.
Uh-huh.
So, Smithy in town?
Yes, but at this point he's probably kind of shut up shop for the evening.
No.
It's not really the kind of place that needs a kind of 24-hour forge.
Right. Taj goes there, and at first he's all happy, and then he comes moping back.
Sure. How about Triss? What are you doing for your evening? Any preparations, or are you just going to get some sleep?
Probably hunting for books. I'd say it's a safe bet. She's maybe having a bit of a snoop around, trying to do it without really being rude, but she's definitely interested in seeing if there's books or anything interesting going on.
So, while the alderman's kind of out getting rope for ruling, you kind of use the opportunity to have a snoop around. You can see that there's kind of not really much special in this place in terms of books. These kind of people probably don't get too much time to read. There's what appears to be a kind of accounting ledger kind of underneath a crude desk, and what appears to be a lockbox in his office. But it's kind of, again, it's crudely fashioned. None of this has been really worked on by a master.
Still kind of functional rather than...
Yeah, exactly that. It's kind of the best they can do with the means they have out here.
Okay, so nothing special to find really then.
Nope, not really.
Okay, then yeah, probably heading to bed, I guess. And we'll be seeing if anyone else is up to anything exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah, that's good.
Titus is going to be sat sort of at first trying to help Rulin because he's bored. And then when he realizes his hands are too big to tie the knots, he sits there all mopey and sad.
As long as he doesn't try sitting on a bed, then that's all right.
I want to kill dragon now.
All right, Titus, we'll head out first thing in the morning. We'll be there by midday. We'll go from there. But I wouldn't be too hasty, my friend. we need to be careful about how we fight this beast. It's quite a nasty little thing.
1 sleep midday or 2 sleep midday?
1 sleep.
Okay.
When Triss sees Titus trying to help Rulin, and after she's kind of got back from a futile search for books, I think maybe she goes and joins Titus and like does some like little cantrips, like produces some flame and stuff like that. Nothing super mega, but just kind of entertaining themselves.
So Titus, you're kind of kept busy by Triss and her kind of green flames, and the evening passes a much, it's a lot more enjoyable for you now that you've kind of got your minds off the kind of fact you have to actually wait to fight. And leaves us with Havel and Torek. Anything you'd like to do in Rune Lake?
No, I'm pretty good. I'll probably just try and get a good rest underway, get prepared. Mind,
Sure.
body,
So,
soul, spirit.
Yep, kind of focusing on the task at hand. Kind of prepare yourself for bed in your usual manner. And how's our little alchemist going to be spending the evening? Any special potions? Any plans? Any schemes?
Oh, no. Potion time is morning time, and I need sleep for that.
Oh, correction for me as well. Titus said 1 sleep or 2 sleeps. He can't count to 2. So it's going to be...
A sleep
So
or
he
many
says-
sleep.
He says 1 sleep or some sleep.
Okay.
Instead was the correction. So I apologize.
That's
I don't know. Retcon.
Right.
Just imagining like Titus's fucking advent calendar. It's just some, and then 1 at the last one.
Some, yeah, 1.
Just open
one day.
in any order.
Some until it gets like way out and it's like many. And then that's it.
Cool. So the night then passes. You're obviously safe within the kind of protective palisade of the village. Rulin, you get your nets kind of in a state you're kind of satisfied with, and get your 4 hours in. The kind of true to his word, the Elderman's kind of building is kind of like nice and warm and dry, and you'll wake up feeling well rested.
Early to bed, early to rise gives the gnome a potion-y surprise. Eureka! I've done it again!
Correction, you're all woken up, not well rested, as Torek kind of starts his morning alchemy session.
Retcon number 2. Shit.
Just imagining Yendorn just waking up, just like, you get used to it.
So
Don't even say anything this time.
Oh.
Just like a really passive aggressive Yendorn.
Titus dreamed of magic and fun.
Uh-huh.
Cool. I'm gonna spend one slot for potions this time. I think I'm feeling lucky on the roll.
Uh-huh. Oh, in fact, no, I won't be mean to Titus. That's
One.
What?
don't worry, I'm not going to be mean. Just thinking giving you a magic-related nightmare, but
No.
Retcon number 3.
Titus's horrific flashbacks to the day that Dickens came for his tribe.
Shit.
Yeah. Okay.
The flames
Jesus,
produced
yeah,
by
good point.
Chris's kind of crackling in her open palm reminds him of the yurts of his family burning.
Can we have one day where he doesn't like harass an animal or break a chair or like just one good day?
Have some repressed memories brought up. Yeah.
God damn.
Okay, so what was that guy you got on your potion roll?
I got 1, which is a healing elixir.
Alrighty, healing elixir it is. And was that then going to be?
And I
in
spent
conjunction
1
with the
spell slot before I did the roll, and I'm going to use that for a resilience elixir.
resilience.
which is the AC buffing one, the one that the little girl drank.
So the cabin is kind of full of these kind of acrid fumes as you all kind of come to. Tarek is kind of cackling maniacally as it brews away. But he seems happy. It's like, the smoke seems to be good smoke.
Yes, there was a 1 in 6 chance of that going good.
Actually, Yendorn does say something again. On this day, Torek, I'll allow it. You, on occasion, you are a good wake-up call when needs be.
I'll take that compliment to the bank. Not seeing like the hidden meaning of what he's trying to imply.
He's probably now got on Yendor's inspiration ideas for a sulfur-based alarm clock or something.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I could shape it like a little metallic cockerel. Oh, that'd be adorable. Do elves like cockerels?
So before too long, the alderman kind of comes in, kind of bearing a basket full of some bread and what looks to be goat's cheese for you. Well,
holy shit! Hang on. Goat's cheese?
Not a fondue this time, just the kind of half a wheel probably. It's not much, but
so goats make the hard cheese. Cows make the fondue.
Pretty much.
Mm.
So he kind of puts this down on the table, and you guys dig in. Well, can't have you off killing dragons on an empty belly, so help yourselves.
Thank you very much. This looks like a wonderful spread.
Well, we do what we can, especially for those who are willing to take the risks on our behalf.
Well, we'll be setting out shortly, and then, if all goes well, hopefully we'll return by tomorrow morning, I suppose.
Yep, and I'll have your beast called waiting for you.
Wonderful.
So he kind of leaves you to your breakfast and goes about, presumably, to deal with whatever it is that his duties entail.
Okay,
so
we good to move out.
Breakfast eaten. The day is yours.
Yendorn really enjoyed the goat's cheese. He likes softer food, and he really liked that. Delicious.
You're trying to hint to Crispy that we need to get more cheese in the campaign.
No, just a bit of flavour,
Just yeah, it's all good.
Oh, yeah, because when we're on the road, it's mostly just rations, which I assume is crackers and bread and shit.
Yeah.
The occasional squirrel.
Hardtack and
Yeah.
Oh, squirrel?
It's a delicacy.
With kind of having the benefit of a ranger in the party, kind of foraging for food provides kind of some much needed relief to kind of the hardtack that are kind of guild issued rations.
Yeah.
I mean, it's by no means a feast, but it's a bit of variety, and that can be a godsend when you're on the road.
Yep.
We should get this goat for Emwen.
Well, if it's still alive, my friend, perhaps we could negotiate with the village.
He does realise that this is a murder, not a kidnapping, right?
Save this goat.
Quite literally a kidnapping.
Oh, come on!
I'm so proud of you.
How long have you been waiting to get that out?
Right, okay. All puns aside. So you guys obviously know where this dragon kind of roughly headed off to. and then with the kind of directions being provided by the alderman, you set off in that direction. As you kind of approach the lake, the ground starts kind of giving way from the kind of firm packed dirt you're used to a kind of a softer, more kind of sandy, marshy kind of terrain. And kind of true enough, it does take you the kind of better part of the morning. You're obviously kind of more used to trekking across this terrain than the average villager, so it doesn't take you the full half day. And you get there probably closing in on about 11. And you can see that there's kind of by the lake, there seems to be an abandoned kind of fishing village. Looks to be quite wrecked. And then there's this hill kind of rising up along the shoreline.
Are there more nets in the village?
So you can kind of see that a lot of this equipment has been either destroyed outright or left exposed to the elements for seemingly quite a while. You don't know if any of the things there would be useful to you. The condition just doesn't look very promising.
So, looking at the village, can we get an idea of what you said? Quite a while, but like roughly how long? Are we talking days, weeks, years?
You would, from just the kind of the damage and the kind of deprivation of kind of a lot of the now exposed interiors of these kind of huts, you realise this has probably been the best part of at least half a year, probably more.
Okay.
Titus is going to go into sort of like hunter tracking mode and sort of go from house to house and see if there's anybody still alive or anything snooping around. Or
so you kind of go from house to house, and you can see that like in between in the streets, kind of the wind and time have kind of long scoured any tracks, even from when the village was active and people were moving around freely. There seems to have been kind of all blown away by time. You do find kind of a few skeletons inside these houses, but again, their bones are bleached. They've probably been exposed for a while.
Human skeletons?
Humanoid, yeah.
Can we tell, is there any damage to the bones, what they were killed by?
You could probably try and roll a medicine for it.
Ruin's sort of following along with Titus, keeping an eye on him. So he
I was going to say someone else could.
19.
So from looking at these bones, you can see that kind of like a lot of them kind of bear what appear to be quite deep kind of claw cuts to various bones, and you can kind of assume that something kind of with big talons or big claws tore into these people at one point.
What did this, Roland?
Well, it would appear to be a dragon. Although, I'm not sure if it's our dragon. I mean, this is quite some devastation. And if Runeling haven't received any refugees, I don't imagine anyone made it out of here. Otherwise, others would have heard of what had happened.
This is a sad place.
Yes. Although, only one goat was stolen from Runeling, but this is an entire village destroyed. This is, I don't like it.
Looking entirely more likely that the adult is present. This is troubling news. Maybe it's best if we call off the hunt.
You are a coward, Liar Tooth.
No, listen. If we kill the young dragon, the adult dragon might lash out in revenge. Things will end up much worse for the villagers.
That cannot be said for sure. If we do not kill a baby dragon, then there will be more adult dragons in the future when it grows up.
We've accepted a contract. We have to at least see exactly what's going on here. If
The honor bound sort.
If we find this adult dragon and we deem it too much for us to handle, we'll do our best to get away. But we have to. We can't leave the dragons here. Ruling certainly will face destruction. We can't leave these people to their fate.
Yes. I suppose you bring up some good points, but all I'm saying is this. It doesn't feel right this time, but...
We'll be careful. We'll be careful.
Yeah. As always, I'll be at your back. Never
Sorry,
question
Marcus.
that.
Of course.
What was the outcome of that? Sorry, guys, I got a call.
Oh, it's cool. I was just essentially conceding the argument and saying that it still gives me bad feelings, but I'll still back up my friends.
And we can't leave sort of the dragons alive because they'll just carry on destroying everything.
Liar tooth. If big dragon come to protect little dragon, I will protect little liar tooth.
That's very reassuring. It actually kind of is.
So, assessing the rest of the village doesn't look like anyone's come through recently. It has just been abandoned completely. Like the dragon's not making a nest here.
Yeah, it looks to be kind of a ghost town, really.
Yeah.
None of the kind of signs indicate recent activity.
Yeah. Well, where do we go from here then? Anyone? Any ideas?
No, hang on, I'm just finishing up this sketch.
Sorry, Triss, what was that?
I was asking Havel if he could spot any animal tracks or anything going on, or if there's any animals to ask if there's anything going on nearby.
Yeah, it probably would be a good idea to see if there were any tracks at all, if anything's been left around.
So, there aren't any tracks in the village, but you suspect that if you were to kind of try the hillside, you'd probably find something.
Sorry, I missed that. It completely broke up for me. What was that?
I was just saying that, like, whilst you don't find anything in the village, you reckon that your odds would be fairly good if you were to kind of search the hillside.
Okay. How far away from the village is the hillside? Is it visible? Is it just easy walk over to it? Is it?
It's probably. I mean, to
this.
get kind of start your climb up to the hill, it'd probably be about 1 kilometre and a bit.
All right, let's all head over there then. I mean, we'd know,
Yeah.
like, from what Torek said about it being in the mountains, we should probably find a high place.
I agree.
Probably in a crevice.
would agree.
Well,
So, Havel, as you kind of lead the way up this hill, and the higher you go, the kind of more sparse the trees become. The rocks here are quite barren, only a few kind of lichen growing on them. And after a while, you do kind of come across what appears to be the entrance to a cave.
what does it look like around the outside of the cave?
So the outside of the cave is, again, it's kind of this barren rock, but you can kind of see this almost imperceptible kind of steam or what looks like mist rising from the cave entrance.
For those of us with dark vision, how far into the cave can we see?
It would be 60 feet, and everything would be kind of black and whitish. It wouldn't be too clear.
Is there anything visible from where we stood?
Yeah, pretty clearly obvious that it's going to be there? Or
So you can't quite see due to a kind of a natural curve in the tunnel, but you can see that like on the inside, kind of some of the rock is kind of what appears to be glowing quite warm.
okay, I don't need to do that then. Okay.
Well,
Unusual.
I think we found the lair.
The clever ones should figure out a plan so that I can do the smashing.
It's probably not ideal going down into that cave, but I don't know how we're going to get it out here without exposing ourselves.
What are the
Yeah.
sort of surroundings of the cave? Is it like hills on either side or anything like that?
Yeah, it's kind of it's on this hillside, so there's a fair amount of kind of rocky scree. It's not fantastic terrain, and there's precious little in the way of kind of big cover.
We could try and lower the
would
beat
there-
down.
Yeah, would there be a way for one of us to
Shout at the
sneak up?
entrance.
Yes, would there be a way for one of us to sneak up on top of the cave entrance so that we could like be above it when it comes out?
Yeah, potentially you could try that.
That means you're going to make me roll for it, doesn't it?
It does make you wrong.
Titus is going to sort of volunteer himself to go up.
All right, well, Rulin will hand the net to Titus, and they sort of discuss the plan to. If they manage to lure the dragon out, Titus will be the one to throw the net onto the dragon, hopefully, and try and pin it.
Uh-huh.
Sick. Okay, yeah, Titus will do that. He's really excited by that.
You can actually add the net to your equipment because it is like an actual. There is a weapon as a net. Like you have to like have thrown sort of stats.
Okay.
I was going to say, I'm wondering if there's any point in someone just sneaking into the entrance of the cave and just seeing how far down the dragon is.
No, well,
I mean,
you don't want to separate them. I don't think. Not to a dragon.
Rulin has some experience with sneaking.
Yeah, because I've got +8 to stealth. Plus, as ruling, haven't you still got the amulet as well?
Yeah.
That's all I was thinking. If it's worth just stealthing the entrance just to see how far down it goes.
We're gonna have to lure it out somehow, and I can run quite fast. So
I've got an
So
idea.
is Titus above the
Anyway.
cave, ready to jump on top of it?
Yeah, I've got
well,
a perfect idea.
to
Don't
throw
worry,
the
guys.
net as well.
Before he goes up, I'd love to give him a potion and just say like, it'll give you courage, my friend, and
I
give him
give this.
resilience.
How long does it last?
It would last 10 minutes. 1 minute? Hang on, it's different for every single one. Let me check that. Sorry, did someone else have a question?
I imagine it will probably be a 1 minute kind of thing if it's a battle potion.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
This time you
Yeah,
tell
10
me when I
minutes.
take
God
this.
damn.
10 minutes. Cool.
10 minutes?
So you're going to give that to Rulin.
I'm going to give it to Titus, actually.
Titus, okay. Titus,
I
are
mean,
you
he's
still
going to be the
using
one
your-
jumping into the most danger, I feel.
Are you still using your kind of shield and hand axe at this point, or are you using
Someone have my shield in one hand and the net in the other.
the other? Okay.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
drink. I'm gonna drink that now. Then,
Sure.
if that's
So
10 minutes.
you kind of drink this, and it's kind of a bitter taste, but I mean, you're not too fussed by it. And you kind of feel your.
We're going into the cave.
He could.
Is that the plan? Okay, I wasn't sure what the plan was.
Well, I think
Yeah.
Yandorn wanted to say something.
Well, I had an idea to get the dragon out, but I don't know. I'm not keen on separating someone. No.
Well, what was the plan?
What's the idea? Yeah.
Well, we know the thing they like the most. It has no scent, but it has a sound when you drop it on the floor. So, if I dropped a gold piece on the floor here, for example, it might lure the dragon right to the entrance.
Do I feel like I had enhanced hearing when I turned into a little dragon?
You didn't really test for it.
Dang it.
Well, it's worth trying before one of us
Furious
sneaks into the
scribble.
cave itself.
Furious scribbles that just read
Yes.
further experimentation required over and over
If the
again.
dragon doesn't hear it, then we lose nothing, I suppose.
That's true.
Titus is already up, right?
Yeah,
No, I'm
it's
sort of
just,
still. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't make. I mean, you've got all the time in the world really to pick your way.
Okay.
up.
Are there any bushes or anything around the cave or anything like that?
No, it's just open, flat rock,
Completely open.
completely open.
What I'm gonna do before we start is I'm gonna walk up to Rulin and put my hand on his shoulder and say, this might help if things go south. And I cast protection from energy on Rulin.
Protection from energy on ruling. Okay. What level
Very
spell is that?
cool.
It's a level 3, so I've just unlocked it. And it, from what I remember, you can choose an element and you give resistance to that element.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
So I'm gonna guess you're gonna go with fire.
Yes.
No ice.
Ice, yeah. Protection from energy.
That's the last thing he'll be expecting.
Yeah, resistance to 1 damage type of your choice. So I choose fire, of course. It's concentration up to an hour.
Concentration up to an hour. Okay.
I like it.
So
Thank you.
Titus is in position. Rulin is kind of buffed.
So I guess we sort of take up a position a little bit away from the entrance to the cave, but close enough to dash in once the dragon comes out.
Ready?
I think so. So just
Okay.
draws a sword, gets ready.
I would like to cast False Life on myself.
Okay.
So I just gain 1d4 plus 4 temporary hit points for an hour.
Nice.
1d4 plus 4 temporary hit points. Roll the dice, please.
It's a small spell, but 7 hit points could make the difference.
Sure, good.
So Yandor gets his crossbow out in one hand, shield in the other. Actually, I can't get, I don't have 3 hands, so I'll get my shield out, and then in my left hand and in my right hand, I just take out a gold piece.
Okay.
Ready, everyone?
Ready?
Ready?
Ready when you are. I am ready to fight robot.
And then with my thumb off my index finger, I flick it into the air so it goes ding, and then let it drop to the ground so you can hear it rattling on the ground as it lands as well.
Okay, so as you kind of hear this gold coin thud to the ground, it doesn't bounce because gold doesn't. It's a heavy metal and it doesn't really bounce as such. It's not. It's quite a soft metal. You kind of all hold your breath, kind of poised, kind of coiled, ready to strike. Nothing comes out of the cave.
Looks like we're
Okay. So,
Oh wait, no.
backup plan.
I guess. Are we trying to lure it out still, or are we just going in, fighting it head on?
Well, I suppose there are 2 options, really. If we fight it outside, there's every chance it could fly away if the net fails for any reason. But if we
Also-
fight it in the cave, it can't fly, but at the same time, we'll be trapped against its flaming breath. It's not perfect either way.
Also, outside we don't have much in the way of cover.
No. but we don't know what the inside of the cave's going to look like. Could be bottlenecked.
I would suggest we could fight it in the cave, actually. Think about it like this. Cover isn't going to do much against a flaming attack. And in a cave, it gives less room for flying. So that's a big advantage of the dragon down the drain.
And we could put net over the tunnel.
That's not terrible.
That
Maybe we
could
could
work.
hook it up to some kind of a mechanism that I go off on one.
Well, my Triss, your telepathic ability, I could sneak into the cave ahead of the rest of you, and keeping in touch with yourself, I could let you know what's going on, and you could follow along behind me.
Yeah, as long as we keep in sight line, we could get a bit of an idea of what's going on, at least a bit
So as long
further
as-
down the cave.
As long as we stay within 60 feet, then that should work.
Yeah.
Okay. So as for attaching the net to the opening of the cave, how feasible is that?
You could probably weigh it down with some rocks to keep it in place.
It's not a bad idea, actually.
Although to do that, you'd all have to be either through the entrance or
Yeah.
outside, or else the net would pose an obstacle.
Ooh, Roland, before you go in,
Yes.
I'm going to like crush some berries in my hands and like go approach you as if to like I'm about to apply it to your cloak and stuff.
Yes, my friend.
I'm going to enchant you and try and cover your scent, okay?
Okay.
This will just mask your edible tastes, hopefully. I'm gonna enchant him to just smell like rocks, essentially.
I like this.
The good old rock smell.
Everyone's casting
Not that
spells
good.
on them. and it's kinda like-
Rock de Chanel.
Okay, so Rulin, you don't really notice any change, but you kind of take Torek for his word, but you now smell like rock.
And Torek makes, Rulin makes a mental note that Torek seems to have an obsession with smells.
It's the
How
worst thing I
How
can
does
do.
gold smell? How does rock smell?
Big snout?
yes.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So Rulin, you kind of feel prepared for your mission and carefully tiptoe around the kind of the bend in this tunnel, and as you kind of get in, you can see that the kind of cave opens up a little bit, and more of these kind of glowing rocks line the wall. It looks like they've been heated by something. You can also see that in the kind of distance, you can make out what appears to be a structure of some kind, but you can't really make it out at this distance. And as you round the corner, roll me a stealth check, please.
Guys, we have literal dungeons.
Should have put the amulet on.
It's not all lost yet.
That's a 9.
So 9. Now the dragon is going to roll perception. He would usually do it at advantage because it's smell based, but due to Torek's application now.
Fuck yes!
It's delicious.
Rulin, as you round the corner, you kind of end up kind of nose to nose with this kind of red dragon wormling. Everybody roll initiative.
This is why I didn't want to split up the party. Oh, nice.
Fucking hell, Rich.
That's
Yeah,
a
nice
20,
job, dude.
21.
Nah, what's yours? Okay.
What's Nampo's team?
Alright, let's set us up on here.
Literal Dungeons and Dragons right now.
6-9, dude.
So you seem to have kind of got the drop on this dragon.
What's yours, Richard?
21.
Oh, Jace, what did you roll?
That's-
No, I rolled yours first.
Why did you roll mine first? Just change your mind because you got a better roll.
No, I rolled yours first.
Oh, okay.
I never said who was rolling.
So, Rulan, you are going to be around this corner.
You picky bastard. Wouldn't it have made more?
Everybody else is going to be kind of at the entrance to the cave where they were waiting. So we're going to say that this edge of the map is where the net is strung up.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I can actually see all the scenery.
Hey.
Wonderful.
Dude, this looks great, Crispy. Look at the little rocks and shit.
Looks like it's not going to load for me, but that's cool.
God damn it, this was all
What
going
is
so
this structure? Ooh.
One day I will have a GPU. One day.
well. Okay. So you kind of hear at the entrance have all this kind of growl, and you realise that something is probably not what it seems. Somebody might need your help.
Oh, that's good. That's always good. I'll obviously I'm gonna move forward. To see, I kind of want to get a view, but almost stay partially behind a rock because dragons, fire, shit like that.
It's not quite in cover there. The area behind the
Yeah.
rock you can see has kind of got this scree on it, so it's rough terrain. So that.
Oh, okay. Well, that'd be me anyway. But firing from behind cover, would that be it?
You'd be able to
Disadvantage
kind
or-
of lean around the edge of that rock and fire.
Okay, I'm gonna stand here. Very very nicely put there. I'm obviously gonna do an attack because why the fuck wouldn't I?
Cool. Roll me the attack.
At this point. Question, actually. Oh. No, I don't think there'd be any point at the moment, would there? There's no point in the moment, but I do want to know, wallop and arrows, is there a limit on like the size of the enemy?
No, there isn't.
Okay,
I think
so
the bigger
people
they
get
are,
closer later.
the easier the DC
Harder they
will be,
fall.
because obviously,
Higher strength.
yeah, same
Yeah.
payload and all that. 'Cause
Okay,
it's
that's
only a
fine.
DC 10 thing anyway, so like the bigger they are, the stronger they tend to be. So it'll probably be less
Yeah.
effective against the bigger targets.
Still might be worth trying later. But I'll just fire a standard arrow for now.
Okay, make an attack action. So roll me 2 hit dice then, because multi-attack. So one
So
hit.
that's 23. No, it's a 24. Yeah.
Jesus.
And that's a 27.
Okay, so they both hit. So
Right,
2d8
okay.
plus 10.
Oh, I'm a fucking idiot. I didn't cast. I mean, unless I could cast a bonus action before I fire.
Nope, if you're going to do that, we're discarding those 2 rolls. So
No, that's fine. But I will do it at the end. So 18.
18 damage to the creature.
Nice.
Stuff.
So the arrows kind of like find their mark. It's a powerful bow, and the kind of scales aren't full dragon hide yet, so they kind of seem to penetrate into its kind of underbelly as it kind of rears up as Rulan appears. Okay.
And bonus action in my round. Can I still do it after an attack?
Yeah.
Okay. Hunter's Mark says it counts as one bonus action to cast.
Sure.
So anything in 90 feet up to 1 hour, I'll get the extra d6 with each attack.
Sure.
And it's a concentration based one as well.
Yes.
Right,
Okay.
so I'm done then.
Yendon.
I'm just looking through my massive array of spells. 1 second. Where is it? Ah, no. Yeah, I can't do that one. I definitely need materials for that. So, where's the door? I'm gonna walk kind of. I'm gonna. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to do the classic, I think, and go for spiritual, level 2 spiritual weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just in front of it.
Yep. Obviously, Spirit Mace isn't bothered by rough terrain.
Yeah. And I'm going to attack straight away, obviously, with that.
Sure, roll me the hit dice, please.
That's a 14.
The Spirit Mace kind of hits, but you can see it kind of glance off of the creature's kind of forelimbs.
Great. That was my bonus action, and as my action, I will do the other classic and just Sacred Flame. Oops.
Sure. Dex saving throw.
Yep. DC 16 now.
So that is a fail.
So that is. I got this one last time. I believe 1d8 damage.
That was a what level spell? Sorry. Oh, is it?
It's a cantrip. Yeah.
That's incredible.
It is. I know. So that's 6 damage.
6 damage. Okay.
And that's the end of my turn.
Yeah, 6 radiant, which is good.
Oh yeah.
Is it not? The spell's damage increases by 1d8 when you reach 5th level.
Actually, yeah, it is. 2d8 when you reach 5th level. So roll
yes,
me
we're
up the
5th level. I forgot.
Oh my god.
Nice spot.
Another 5, so that's 11 total.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Nice.
Nice spot, Cal. End of turn.
Sure. That brings us to either Torek or Titus.
Before Torek can even talk, Titus is running in. He's been waiting all day for this shit.
I was about to
He's got his
Titus, what do you say? Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What? And he's gonna throw one of his javelins at the creature.
Roll me to hit,
Well,
please.
he's gonna throw 2 of his javelins at the creature.
Yeah, roll them both then.
Reckless as well. So
Okay.
that's 14.
There's a miss.
Okay. And 23. Okay.
So one hits.
So, and obviously, but it's raging, so it's going to be 1d6 plus 6.
Mm-hmm.
So 11.
11 damage. Okay. And that now brings us on to Torek.
Okay. I think I'm just gonna start off the fight with I'm sorry, can someone describe to me what this is here?
Kind of
Rough terrain.
Yeah, rough terrain there.
Okay.
It's
And
like
this
stalactites.
That's just
okay.
big impassable rock.
and this is an impassable rock.
Mm-hmm. Blocking
Okay.
line of sight.
Okay. I'm gonna move diagonally down here. About half my movement.
Okay, so
Uh,
10, then it'd have to be 15.
yeah.
Maybe extra 20 to 20, or just want to stay there?
I'll go 15 and then I'll cast a spell, then move the rest.
Okay.
I'll let's cast Ray of Sickness. So it's a +7 to hit for damage.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, 13. I don't think that's going to cut it, is it?
Ray of Sickness kind of hits the dragon, but it doesn't do anything. You can't see
Damn.
it.
You see
falter
one of those
anywhere.
glass poison arrows just smash against its scales then. Then I move the rest to try and get behind this cover.
Okay, so that would be, I think so that'd be 20, 25, 30, but with Havel in the way and this being rough terrain, you're not going to be able to make it that far.
Oh, is this a wall here?
Yeah, this bit here is a wall.
Okay.
Can you not see the map? Should I just take?
I cannot see the map. Nothing here is loaded. It's just a load of white squares.
Let me take a screenshot and send that to you, so you've got a rough.
Oh, thanks. That's
what
actually a
you're doing
really
there.
nice workaround.
Give me one moment.
I think being close to Havel is probably going to be a bad idea. We're a bit squeezed in though, aren't we? I think it'll probably be safe to stay put for now, from what I can tell anyway. Hello?
Guy, can you see, if I draw here, can you see?
I
Right.
can, yeah. It's all grayed out. Oh, you genius, Hitchard. Okay, very nice.
Why can't I save that as a file?
Okay, yeah, actually, I will. I'll follow up. I'll come this way for the rest of my movement. Ooh, who's got crisps?
Sorry,
I was going to guess Oreos.
it's actually Trebor extra strong mints.
I can't
Oh.
seem to send you the screenshot, guy, but I'll just
A
send
man
you
of
like a
culture.
copy of the blank.
Oh, Rich has helped significantly. He drew an outline of the map on the map, so I can still see the squares where things are. I just can't tell exactly what they are. But you guys have described what these are, and now I can see the where we're
Yeah,
good.
I can't really, for whatever reason, it's not finding my saved screenshot. So I'll just send
It's
you a
cool. It's
blank
cool.
map.
Let's I'm guessing this is water.
That's like a chasm.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a lot.
That's yeah.
I think I'm gonna stay put, or do I move behind cover behind this rock? I definitely do that. I move upward again behind the rock.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for moving me as well, guys. Wrong rock. This rock.
This rock. Okay. Alrighty, that brings us to Chris. No, it doesn't. It brings us to Rulon. I almost missed you there.
No, don't do that. Okay. So where the dragon is perched, how high up is this rock?
It's probably about 5 feet up. It wouldn't be too hard for you to get there.
Clamber up. Yeah, alright, I'll do that then. So going this way and up alongside. So what would that be? 1, 2. It's about 30 feet of movement to there, I think, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
With the rough terrain included. Okay. Then I will. Yeah, I will attack the dragon with my sword.
Sure, I'll move the dice. That's going to be a hit.
Okay. And that'll be d6 plus 4. Oof. 5.
Damage.
And then second attack, I'll attack again with the sword. Oh, beautiful.
Crit.
So double damage? 2d6 or
2d6.
just double?
Yeah,
Yes,
2d6.
Yeah. Oh, nice. That'll be 14.
Alrighty, so the kind of sword, you managed to hit it in an area where the scales don't quite fully overlap, and you can kind of feel it kind of cut into something softer underneath.
Okay. Then I will spend a key point to disengage,
Okay.
and I will fall back to there.
Alrighty. And Triss.
Oh, sorry. I missed it. Missed stunning strike. Oh no, fuck it. No, I fucked up. It's my fault. I'll ignore it.
I think you probably got a minute until Tracy's here.
Yeah. No, I've already moved away. We'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Oh, Tris, your internet is really not doing you any favours there.
Oh, he's disconnected.
Type it. Not a bad
A
idea.
little bit. Jason, would you maybe...
No, it's not. It's not the issue with your microphone. I think it's definitely your connection.
Yeah, it's just kicked us out.
Right.
We're using my mobile data.
Ah, right.
Fuck's sake. It's like living in the... If you hang tight, we're just trying to get back on the server. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you better now.
Right, it's because I moved. I moved like half a meter across the room and it fucked everything up. Can't really do much while we're waiting. Cool. Right, Jason, would you move me forwards about 4 squares? Pretty much directly, yeah, about there. Super. And then I'm going to cast Ray of Frost.
Oh.
Okay.
Jace, would you die? This is +8. Oh,
So
wow.
that is a miss, I'm afraid.
God, this is what happens when I let Jason roll. 1 second, Jason, would you go back over the map? How much further can I move?
4.
Okay, I'm going to just zip a little bit to the right. Yeah, about there-ish. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. So, kind of, it's now that this kind of incursion into its territory, you kind of hear the dragon kind of roar, and it flaps its wings. So it's kind of going to leap off its little perch here and land kind of smack bang between Titus and Rulin. Now it is going to use its breath weapon against Titus, who I think is the only one who's going to be caught in this area because it's only a 15-foot cone. Yeah, you think Yendon's just about safe there. It's
Okay.
kind of awkward because it's diagonally, but so
Yeah.
Titus, I need a dex saving throw from you, please,
With advantage because I can see it.
because you can see it. Yep.
That is 18.
So
That's quite lucky.
Titus, you kind of see this coming and you hurl yourself out of the way, kind of only getting kind of singed by the fire. So you're going to take 66 halved.
66. Oh! My
So Titus,
days.
you kind of take 14 fire damage, and you kind of feel the kind of back of your kind of calves singeing. As this kind of, it's not quite fire, but it's like the air being superheated around it. Kind of the bit of floor where you're kind of sitting or previously were standing is kind of glowing now, the same kind of red as the walls.
Jesus.
And then the dragon is going to turn and lash out at Rulin with its claws. Although it is going to miss.
Nice.
Okay. Brings us back round to Havel.
Cool.
Say again.
Jace?
No, we're not hearing you, mate.
Yeah, I think we've lost you there.
Hold on, can you hear
Hold
me?
on, can you hear
Can
us?
hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us? We'll
Yes.
go for
Mhm.
an alternative approach.
Oh, this one's working again.
Okay.
That's fine. Okay.
It's not coming through.
Oh, it just me. So I am going who I kind of want to try a wallop an arrow on it, just cause shits and giggles.
Knock it down, yeah.
Yeah. So, first shot, I'll try a walloping arrow, and then after that, I'm just going to go back to standard arrows.
Okay, so roll me the hit dice, please.
Yep, it just rolls both at the same time.
No, we need to do one
Oh.
separate. One's a walloping.
Oh, okay. I was just going to go off the original. Discard those. Sorry. Oh, that's 13. So that's going to miss.
So the walloping arrow kind of whizzes past the dragon and explodes against the rock face behind it, kind of blasting chunks of pebble.
Excellent. Wonderful. And then a standard arrow. Come on, 20. 27.
This one, kind of, you adjust your aim and you kind of hit. So roll me the damage dice.
So 1d8, 1d6, plus 5. So 13.
13, okay. Another arrow sticking out of this creature's hide. It hasn't gone in too deep, but it's still another arrow in it. End all. Unless, unless.
No, I was just going to say no other actions. No, that's it.
Okay. So for my action, I'm going to use Guiding Bolt, but I'm going to use it at level 2.
Okay.
So do more damage if I hit, basically.
Sure. So roll me the dice, please.
That's a 15.
That misses.
Oh. Bugger. Bonus
So,
action.
With the spirit mace, sure.
Yeah. Nice, that's a 17.
Also a miss.
Oh! Okay. And I'm gonna... I think I'm just gonna move like a step back. Just so I'm definitely out of that range. Safely.
Okay.
That's the end of my turn.
Torek and Titus.
You go ahead, guys.
Drink the potion, man!
I think he already has.
Yeah, you drank it
Yep.
before when you guys were all setting up outside.
Oh. It's probably been more than a minute since then. Shit.
It's 10
It's
minutes.
10 minutes.
It was 10 minutes, Kyle. You're okay.
Oh. Neat. Okay. I'm just, I'm just keeping track of stuff. Do you want to resolve your stuff first, or?
No, I just said you go first.
Okay. Let's do my full movement across this way, if that's all right. No,
Yeah, you could go in there,
but yeah, just spreading out the potential targets, and I am going to cast something.
Mhm.
Don't know what.
It's got to be in here somewhere.
Actually, you know what? Let's just try the Boomer Blade against it. It is, Thanks for drawing in extra decals.
These are the impassable rocks.
Nice. Let's try a... See how you like silver. 26!
Hits.
Very nice. Oh, he takes 8 damage, my boy.
8 damage. So the boomer blade kind of hits, and you see it kind of knock a scale off. It doesn't seem to bite too deep. But yeah, it wasn't terrible either.
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Okay, that leaves us with Titus, I guess.
Sort of emerging from behind his shield, taking out one of his hand axes, he's just gonna wail on the dragon. He's gonna go reckless.
Okay, so
So
reckless
first
attack.
attack. So that's 20,
Hits.
and then the second one. Oh,
Also
damn.
hits.
So that's gonna be 2d6 plus 12.
Plus 12. 6 for a strength modifier.
No, but he's raging as well,
Oh, he's
so plus
raging,
2.
of course. Yeah, I always
Yep.
forget that part.
Yep.
So what was that? It's going to be 16.
15 total.
What was that? 4 plus 12?
No,
Nope.
it was 3. It was
3
1 and a
plus 12.
2.
Ah, okay.
Well, pretty bad. But I've hit him, so he'll
Yep,
get disadvantage. And
Ancestral Guardians.
Yep.
Okay. Brings us down to Ruland.
Okay. Okay. Roland will. Attack twice with his Ninjato. First attack. That'll
So
be
hits.
24. Six damage.
Okay.
And then again. Oh, beautiful.
oh, cow! Oh my gosh, mate.
Uh, 11
In total.
total, yeah.
Okay. So you kind of capitalizing on the weakness you found earlier. You put the blades kind of into the same location.
Nice.
You feel it kind of sink a bit deeper this time.
Okay. And then, all right. Okay, so I can spend a key point to attempt a stunning strike.
Uh-huh.
So you have to make a Constitution saving throw against DC 14.
DC 14 Constitution saving throw.
I imagine he'll probably get a.
Okay, so he would fail that, but legendary resistance, he chooses to succeed.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, that's crazy. But you've just removed one of them, so that's actually a big thing.
He's only got 2 more.
Yep.
Holy shit! How many times he can just ignore?
Any form of CC, yeah.
Well, there are 6 of you, so you can probably whittle them down reasonably quick.
Okay.
Let's get him, boys.
I'll spend, because that was a free action, so I'll spend another key point to make a flurry of blows and do 2 unarmed attacks.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
2 hits.
And that, I think, it's gone up to D6 now for the melee. Yep, it is 2D. That'll be 2D6 plus 8. 15.
15.
Jesus.
So as you kind of open up this wound in its side, you kind of punch your fists quickly into it. You kind of feel the dragon kind of yelp in pain.
Yep.
Triss.
Happy with that.
Okay,
Yeah, so
I
good
think
job.
please step out from behind that rock to the left. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and then I'm gonna cast just one. I'm gonna cast Ray of
Oh.
Frost again.
Shit. I'm sorry.
Try to.
I'm sorry. I'm really stupid again as well, but I keep forgetting special effects and what have you. So because I hit it with the flurry of blows, it can have a special effect.
Oh,
on
your
it, so-
overarm thing.
Yeah, I just keep forgetting to do it. So it's going to force it to make a dex throw or fall prone. I don't know if it affects the dragon, but
That's
DC 14.
DC 14 dex throw. Okay. And it's not going to use a legendary resistance. So you this kind of blow kind of knocks it down as it kind of yields some pain. So Triss, roll with advantage for this one.
And just a quick clarification as well. Because I've done 2 flurry of blows attacks and I hit with both, does that still only impose 1 result?
Well, it can't
the
go.
special
It can't go
effect?
prone twice. So.
No, but I mean, I could make it go prone, but there's also I can make it take. Make it can't take a reaction until its next turn.
I think
That's
it'll
like
be
another effect.
one special effect per round.
One special effect. Okay, fair enough. I just wanted to clarify.
Okay, yeah, Triss. So roll that again, but with advantage because he's prone.
Oh, doesn't prone only count for close combat? Sorry, I'm sorry to be a dick, but
+8.
I honestly don't know.
Makes no difference.
Yeah, I
It's
think
got a
when
10
you're
anyway.
when you're prone, you're actually harder to hit with range, technically.
Well, I mean, either way,
Oh,
that was
yes,
double. It does hit.
Yep.
Cool. And that is 2d8.
2d8 then, please.
Yeah. Well, I think because it says my level now, I get. I don't think so. No, just 2d8 on its own.
2d8 on its own. Okay. Perfect. So this kind of ray of frost hits this dragon while it's kind of busy. You kind of manage to get it on its blind side, and again, you can see it kind of bites quite deep into it. Okay,
Before
so
my turn ends, I'm gonna bob back behind that rock as well.
Uh-huh.
That was...
sure thing.
There we go. Yeah, just somewhere in there. Awesome.
Okay, so dragons go. First of all, let's see if its breath weapon has recharged. 5 or a 6 it has. No, okay. So it's kind of furious at this kind of invasion to its lair and the assault it's facing. So it is just going to fly into a rage and attack Titus 3 times.
Oof.
At advantage because reckless attack.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so 1 miss.
I'm guessing it stood up, right?
Mm-hmm. 1 hits, so that is going to be a 1d10 plus 4 piercing damage, and then 1d6 fire damage.
Stone's endurance. This, just so you know.
Mm-hmm. So that's going to be 11 piercing damage. So
Oh,
half that
shit.
to what, 6, and then
6.
Stone's endurance it.
Okay. Well, it reduces the total damage from the hit, so
Okay, and then
so whatever.
the d6 fire damage. So 7 damage in total. But
So Stone's endurance is D12 plus 5.
so it just negates it pretty much.
But it's gone now. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so Stone's endurance, you kind of feel this.
But it's gone.
This blow kind of scrape off your skin. It was a bit of a glancing hit, really. And the final one.
Probably shouldn't have wasted.
21. So that's an.
Oh, just hit.
Dang. You have taken the +1 for my potion, right?
Yes, I have. So that's going to be 7 piercing damage and another 4. So 11 damage to Titus there. You kind of feel that your shield protected you from some of it, but like the just flurry of claws kind of to you there, Titus. It's some of it got through your defense, and you can feel there's kind of blood seeping from a wound in your torso.
I'm just gonna bellow at it.
Okay, that brings us back to Havel.
Okay, so I have a query.
Mm-hmm.
With what you said earlier, when the walloping arrow missed and it broke rock.
Yeah.
On the roof of this cave, is there anything hanging like above the dragon? You know, like
No,
any spice kind of.
No, it's not that kind of cave. Oh, I should have probably pointed out the dragon would have had to stand up to attack you there, Titus.
Okay.
Because he can't attack while he's prone. So.
Yeah.
Just to be extra clear, but yeah, sorry, Jason. There's no kind of rooftop terrain.
That's a shame. Okay then.
Thanks for
I'm
sending
still
me that
feeling
image,
like I'm.
Crispy.
Sorry, what was that guy?
Thanks for sending me the image.
Oh, no worries.
Okay, so yeah, 2 standard arrows then.
Okay, sure thing.
So 26, 23.
Both hit.
Cool. That's 29.
29 damage.
God damn it.
Oh my god!
Okay, so again, two more arrows. It's kind of again, they don't go too far in, but you can see that there's blood seeping from every one of these arrow holes.
Yeah, boy.
It's going to add up.
No further.
Okay. Yendon.
Bonus action, attack with the mace straight away. That's a 19.
Hits.
Oh, finally. It's been so long, I've forgotten how much damage this thing does.
So you cast it at second level.
1d8 plus spellcasting. Yeah, second is its default.
Okay.
So it's 1d8 plus 5. So that's a 6. Great. And half my movement, move up to Titus.
And cure wounds.
Level 3 cure wounds.
3.
Not messing about here. Because
He's
that dragon
doing
ain't
okay.
messing about.
I will say he's doing okay.
How?
How is he doing okay? He just took like 24 damage.
Yeah, he's doing all right. He's taking 25 total, but he's doing okay.
Well, too late. I've used this now.
So
Okay, that's
So
good.
it's 3d8 plus 5 plus 2 plus 3. So plus
so
another 5.
plus
10.
10.
Yeah.
3d8 plus 10.
Plus 10.
Actually,
So that's 27.
Titus,
26.
you feel like your kind of fighting spirit is kind of fully restored by this kind of application of magic by Yendon there.
I just give like a huge smile to Yendon, and I just like give him a nod, and I just turn back to the creature and just scream
Nice.
at it.
Nice. And then the other half of my movement, I go back to where I was.
Okay.
And that's the end of my turn.
Shit, 27.
Nice. Tark and Titus.
I would like to go first. If that's cool.
Yeah.
Torik's going to run over this way toward the fountain.
Okay.
Actually, where is? Yeah, I'll run over toward the fountain.
Sure.
So how far can I make it? Sorry.
So
Probably
5, 10, and if you hop down here, you can go 20.
Ooh, actually, I'll stay up on the vantage. I'll stay up on the vantage here. So like
There.
around here, right?
Yeah, that's
That's
good.
about close.
Cool. I'm then gonna load a vial full of a syringe with orange fluid in it into my arm crossbow. Aim it at Titus and just whisper to myself, "Experiment 1," and fire.
What?
What are you doing? What's
I
the
cast Enlarge Person on Titus.
enlarged person?
What?
So Titus, you are now twice the size in all dimensions.
Hey.
You have
So that's
advantage
2
on,
inches now, Charlie.
on strength rolls and saving throws, and your weapons deal an extra D4 damage.
Okay, is that a concentration spell?
That is a concentration, so I'm gonna say like the syringe is linked to me, and I've got a little pump on my back or something.
Well, that does mean that Ruland won't be resistant to fire anymore. Okay.
No,
no,
'cause it was Rich who cast
I've
that.
not got a concentration.
Yeah,
open
Yendon
right
cast
now.
that. Yendon cast that. Yeah.
Yeah, Torek made me smell like rocks. Oh.
Right.
So yeah,
which
Titus is
didn't
now
work.
10 feet by 10 feet. Can we enlarge his character?
What? Are you kidding me?
How long does that
Oh,
last?
hell. Let's fucking go.
That will last for
So
1
Titus
minute
is
concentration.
I guess I'd have to be here to.
16 feet tall right now.
I
Because
don't
he's
know about
8
height.
He's like
Uh,
twice as big in all dimensions.
Just not height. He just goes wide.
Oh, it says target size doubles in all dimension and its weight is multiplied by 8. This is a growth size by 1 category.
That is insane. Weighs
Okay.
Woo!
1,000
Okay.
pounds right now.
Titus, you kind of feel great. I mean, the shield, the shield you're holding now barely covers kind of your kind of
Weapons grow
midriff.
with this effect.
Do they? Nah.
This is horseshit.
That's nuts.
That is mad. Okay. Yeah, you just feel incredibly powerful, and this kind of dragon seems to be much more manageable now.
But, dude, okay. Wail on him. I'm just gonna go absolutely nuts. I'm gonna reckless attack
Uh-huh.
twice in a row with my hand axes. So that's
So a hit.
probably gonna be a hit. So it's D plus D4 damage.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Wow.
So that's wow.
Oh wow.
Wow. And then plus. So what else happens to my strength? Does strength?
Strength
Oh, you
plus
get
rage.
advantage to strength rolls and saving throws. I don't think it adds any
Yeah.
additional strength.
Okay.
So what's that
it's
plus
just
7? So
just plus 6.
okay.
So that's 8 damage. And then second attack. Oh,
That is a miss.
Titus is just like laughing so much.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to get
He
used to
can't concentrate.
your new size. Your swings are a bit more kind of lumbersome than they used to be.
Yeah, he's just like just going nuts.
Mhm.
But I did hit, so Guardian's still
Yep.
good.
Doesn't make sense. His brain should be bigger too.
Oh.
Holy shit. But that's
Wow.
my spell casting out the window.
That's insane, guy. What the fuck?
All right.
Rule.
Brings us down to ruling.
Yeah, good okay. Good old double sword attack. First one. 22.
Hits.
Okay. 1d6 plus 4. 6.
6 damage. Okay.
And second sword attack.
Oh, we could have had it by enhance
There's
your
also a hit.
Goliath energy.
That's not a crit this time, though. 9.
Damage. Okay.
And should I attempt another stunning strike? I don't know.
Down to your last 2 key points.
I know, yeah. So I could stunning strike and flurry of blows again. Or I could just stunning strike and then try another. Try and get rid of them legendary resistances. No, I'm just going to flurry of blows.
Okay. So another key point on the flurry of blows.
Yep.
Roll me the dice.
That's plus 7 to each. 16.
They both miss.
God damn it.
You're kind of pounding back against the hide now. It's turned in a way that means you can't get to your weak spot.
Unfortunate.
And Triss.
Okay. Bob back out? Yeah. And then I'm going to Eldritch Blast.
Okay. Hit dice, please.
So I've got 2 beams now, and I need to make a separate attack roll for each
Yep.
beam. So do
So
I mean
with 2 dice, then roll them together.
plus 8?
One's a crit.
Oh.
So
Oh.
that's gonna be 1 hit. So roll me twice the damage dice, please.
That's 1d10 plus 5.
So it'll be 2d10 then.
Yeah. Oh.
18 damage.
And a 10 as well.
Shit. Dragon
So
is trouble,
as this
boy.
Eldritch Blast kind of hits, you kind of see it blow a kind of good handful of scales off this thing's back, kind of exposing the flesh underneath and searing it.
Nice. And then I'm gonna bob back behind that rock, just for extra safety. Oh, thanks.
Okay. So, righty, let's see if the dragon's breath weapon is recharged.
Plus.
It has.
Oh, plus no.
So, the dragon is going to actually move away from Rulin here. And he's going to stand right there. So, Rulin, attack of opportunity, please.
Oh, yep.
Hits.
D6 because it's with the sword.
Mhm.
9.
9 damage. And then he is going to use his kind of 15-foot cone to blast Toric and Titus with the fire.
Ooh.
So both of you make a dex save, please. Titus with advantage because you can see it.
Does this count as magic?
No, it counts as a breath weapon.
Oh no!
No.
So I'm-
Once again, Titus
I'm
has managed to dodge it. You kind of see it coming in advance.
Oh!
Toric,
Get gnomed!
you not only do you manage to dodge out of the way, but you also manage to get an attack off while you do it with the boomer blade.
Nice.
Oh,
that.
sick.
Still going to take half damage, but you'll get some revenge in potentially.
Ah,
Maybe not.
I see you coming.
So the boomer blade doesn't quite
Pierce.
penetrate the scales. So let's roll you that particular damage.
Ooh, can I? Oh wait, no. If I cast a spell, it'll break my concentration.
And half this.
No, it
So,
won't. Only if you
it's gonna
cast
be
another
11.
concentration spell, guy.
Oh really?
Yeah.
11 fire damage to the both of you.
I cast absorb elements,
Okay.
so I get resistance from this attack, and
Well,
On my next-
you get resistance anyway.
why?
From Ancestral Guardian.
From fire?
No, you're right. It's just against physical attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll reduce the damage by half. Spinning the
So-
boomer blade really quick, I start enchanting it with the fire that he's throwing at me.
Okay, so you take 6 damage then instead.
Amazing.
Cool.
Is
so,
it physical damage? Sorry, I just says the query there.
No, it's fire damage for.
No, I mean like the protection, resistance against the ancestral protectors. It just says resistance to the damage. It doesn't say specifically if it has to be what type of damage.
I'm gonna look it up, but carry on.
Okay.
Either way, Toric, you have taken some damage, so a concentration saving throw, please.
Ooh. Yep.
Constitution.
+4 to this roll.
That'll do it.
Yep,
22.
so
Nice.
You
Nice.
kind of stay focused on the task at hand, even though this kind of fire has kind of singed your beard a little bit.
Stop trying to interfere with my variable.
And then with his last action, he's going to make another attack on Titus.
Jesus.
So reckless.
With advantage.
Mhm. Job 2. So 19, it doesn't actually land. So you
Wow.
kind of feel this claw kind of lodge deep in your shield and kind of pull down, but it's obviously not connected with your body, so. doesn't do much. Okay. Brings us on to Avel again.
Just so we know the wording of Ancestral Protectors. Starting when you choose this path at 3rd level, spectral warriors appear when you enter your rage. While you're raging, the first creature you hit with an attack becomes the target of the warriors, which hinders attacks. Until the start of your next turn, that creature has disadvantage on any attack roll that isn't against you. And when the target hits a creature other than you with an attack, that creature has resistance to the damage of the target's attacks. So it's an attack action,
Yeah, it has
which
to be an attack.
which breath actions are not affected by. So
Yeah.
Okay, that's some interesting ruling. But yeah. That's
Okay.
a really good ability. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude, it's real good.
Havel, you're up.
Barbarians, my guy.
Well, I mean, I don't have much else on a bow, so I'm just gonna do that shit again.
Why fix what isn't broken, right?
Exactly. So, standard arrows, both of them.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, 24. Fuck off, Jason. 14 and a 19.
So one hits.
Right, okay, so 1d6 and 1d8. Plus 5, 9.
9 damage. Okay. Yeah. And another arrow goes into the creature. It's kind of death by 1,000 cuts here, but it's adding up.
We're getting there. No further actions.
Cool. Yendon?
Spirit Mace, bonus action.
The fact that that's not concentration blows my mind.
Oh yeah, it's massively overpowered. That's a 20.
And that's hits.
So that's a 10 damage.
10 damage.
And for my action, I'm just going to shoot with my crossbow.
Roll to hit then, please.
So I get a +4.
Hits, crits.
It's a crit. So that means it's 2d8 + 1.
No, I wish I would stop on those now.
Oh
so
my god.
10 damage.
10 damage. Another 10. Good.
I'm not going to
Martial
move.
prowess by cleric.
That's the end of my turn.
Okay. Torikotitis.
While it's grabbing my shield down, right? It ripped into my shield.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
kinda
let
put its
go of
claws through it. Okay.
I'm gonna do a very tightest thing here. I'm gonna let go of the shield.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take out my massive giant axe now.
Okay.
And I'm gonna reckless attack both attacks with my
So,
big
yeah.
axe.
Roll them separately.
Do them separate, yeah. So we
Hits.
have a. Okay. So that will be D12 plus D4 plus 6. Oh!
20
Damage.
damage.
That's 20 damage in one hit. That's not bad. Okay, so you kind of cleave into this creature. You can kind of see the blood spurt as your axe bites deep.
Just cursing it in giant.
And the second one cleaves. There's another hit.
That's 13 damage.
Okay, so less effective.
That's a,
but still,
that's a 33 damage turn.
yeah, it's the axe is kind of proving why it's Titus's favorite thing. Alrighty, Torek.
Alright, now that I've absorbed the elements from his last attack, I'm going to strike back with the elements that I absorbed,
Okay,
making a melee attack against him.
sure.
That is 19.
Hits.
Nice. So I'll do d4 plus d6 fire damage plus 4.
Okay, so roll me the d4.
I've rolled them both.
Okay.
So that is 6 normal damage and 3 fire damage.
It is unfazed by the fire.
I know, I just wanted to look really, really cool. I'm on top of the cliff fighting him.
Okay, Ruin.
Okay. I will. Yep. Take a couple of steps down off the edge. Actually, I'll come round this way. And yep, it's gonna slash at it in the back.
Okay, sure.
Let's do it. No, I
It's a
guess.
miss. The kind of undamaged kind of spinal armor protects it from your blade.
And he's gonna take another slash, unfazed.
That one, however, hits.
Okay. And it's going to do 7 damage.
7 damage.
And then with my 5th and final key point, Flurry of Blows.
Flurry of blows, roll.
Get in, mate.
Oh.
So 1 hit and one critical failure. So the dragon kind of like roll me the damage for the first one before we resolve that. And that one, sorry.
9.
So 9 damage. Okay, and then as the second fist comes around, the dragon kind of lashes out, strikes you with its tail, kind of giving a. It's going to do just D10 bludgeoning.
Okay.
So you kind of get hit and kind of winded by this blow. Just because I need to do fucking some damage to this party. Triss, you're up.
So because Titus is in his like huge form, is
Yeah,
he going to
that's-
now be a bit of an
That's going to be kind of hard to get that shot off through Titus's enlarged.
So how far round this rock can I move?
So you can go 5, 10, probably 15, 20, 25. So you can go.
Where Charlie's was, yeah, that like little edge, just far enough round to get past Titus. Yeah, there. Cool.
Alright.
And I'm gonna use.
Chris, you have shrunk.
A tiny puny arm. I'm gonna Eldritch Blast again because when you can
Sure.
Eldritch Blast, why?
Roll me the dice, please.
Oh,
Baby,
reliable.
2d20, please.
Oh.
Plus 8.
One. So basically, just roll me 4d10 and then.
Plus 5. Well, plus 10, I guess.
Yeah, plus 10.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Jesus
How much
Christ,
was
what the hell?
How much is that?
39 damage.
What the shit?
So, Triss,
9.
how do you want to do it?
Boy.
Wow.
Describe it to me.
Yeah.
Describe how you finish off this
I
dragon.
want to smack that dragon in its face. I just want full double beams to the face. Just
Alrighty,
full
so
whack, turn everything
as-
up to mat.
As Titus kind of like whacks his axe into this creature, it kind of rears up, and with this kind of perfect opportunity, you kind of put 2 Eldritch Blasts direct through its kind of like softer under chin kind of flesh, and you see that it's kind of like its eyeballs kind of explode outwards with this kind of eldritch energy, and it kind of slumps down dead. Well done, team.
Oh god,
Holy
Titus, please don't
shit.
high five anyone. Oh god.
Just swats Tarek.
We lost one party member against the dragon.
Shortly after the dragon died.
Okay. So, as the dragon dies and you've kind of got more of a chance to have a look around, you can see the beginnings of a small hoard of gold. It's a young dragon. It hasn't had time to amass a fortune yet, but as you kind of rifle through it, you realize it's probably about 300 gold pieces in there
Nice.
to be shared out. And Torek, as you kind of get a better look at this structure, you kind of realize that this has got kind of a mural depicting a kind of a story on it. In fact, it's remarkably similar to the material you'd been studying before you joined the Order. You reckon that given time, you could probably decipher it?
I start taking down, like charcoal sketches,
Rubbings of it.
Yeah, rubbings. Yeah, absolutely. I'd take all the information I can. Absolutely. Could I do a history roll now to get an idea about what the murals are about?
Yeah, sure thing. Roll me that, please. You know what? Because like this is the area you're proficient with, I'll let you have advantage with it, just because.
Right, let's see if Nurgle is with me today. Nuffle.
You don't want Nurgle with you.
Wrong one. 19.
That's more like it. So this kind of mural depicts kind of like it's almost chronicles what appears to be the kind of rise of a civilization. You kind of read through it, and some of the words you can kind of make out, and it kind of tells. The first kind of scene depicts a kind of a race of kind of almost serpent-like humanoids, kind of living in caves, and pictures of lots of creatures, monsters which you've never seen before. Kind of the second panel shows what appears to become a ritual taking place. A lot of these kind of creatures gathered around an altar with some form of stone atop it. The panel after that seems to show a kind of a flourishing city, larger than anything you've seen in the modern day, with fields extending as far as you can see. And throughout this all, you can kind of make out one phrase kind of repeated, and that is the binding of Kovtara.
How do you spell that?
Khovtara.
My God. As I'm deciphering it, I'm just speaking aloud what I see and what it is.
So it's kind of it's getting on in time where you probably need to be making camp anyway, so you could probably continue work while that's kind of the camp's being set up. Buy you a bit more time.
I take no attention to the dragon parts or the gold. I'm just working on this.
Okay.
This is unprecedented.
The rest of you, while you're kind of scrounging through the hoard, you also find what appears to be a kind of a small little teapot, remarkably uncracked despite its fairly rough positioning in the hoard.
Does anyone want to detect?
I've got identify. I have a spell called identify.
Okay.
What does it do?
Yep.
Actually, before I use that, I'm going to detect magic on the teapot, just in case.
Yeah, sure. So there is magic on the teapots.
Okay. And yeah, I'm going to use identify, so I've got a touch for 11 minutes.
Okay, so as you kind of run your fingers along the side of this teapot, it reveals itself to you to be the teapot of truth. So when tea is brewed in this vessel, any creature that drinks a full cup of tea from it has to make a wisdom saving throw, and if it fails, the creature cannot knowingly tell a lie for the next 5 minutes.
Oh, that's mint.
So,
However, the catch is you guys don't get to see the creature make its roll, so you don't know if it's taken effect or not.
okay.
I really like that.
It's not
That's
even
amazing,
got to drink the whole
Crispy.
cup.
And they've got to drink the whole cup, and if the tea is left to go tepid, it doesn't have its effect.
Awesome. Awesome.
Anytime we meet anybody, cup of tea, old man.
Aren't you a cup of tea?
It's so British.
Entirely.
Tea and cake.
What if it's a
Tea
really
cake.
shit cup of tea and they just spit it out?
You
It's
guys-
changed from maybe I should scout ahead to maybe they want a cup of tea.
Dragon, cup of tea.
It's also suspicious. Like you walk up to someone in the street, I'll just hang on. I'll just brew a pot of tea in the middle of this street here. Hang on a minute.
Yeah. Ah,
Make mine a builder's.
Or you go around to someone's house. It's all right. I brought my own teapot.
Also important to note, it's not going to be regular tea unless you guys have started carrying milk around in flasks with you.
But it is going to be Yorkshire Gold, right?
Earl Grey.
I need an alchemy jug ASAP.
That's amazing. Crispy, that is so cool.
That's it's a homebrew item, so I'm going to have to write that up in D&D Beyond for you at some point later. But
as we're
cool.
rifling through the golden stuff, Titus is going to say this is a side of Titus we don't see very much because he was once a slave. He knows he's got to get his piece of the action now that he's free. So as all counts up the gold, Rulon says to Rulon, like, how about we don't tell the guild about this 300 gold of this treasure.
There's some gold.
This many treasure.
Well, I mean, the contract as it is with the guild is for the 900 gold pieces. Anything we loot in the meantime belongs to us.
Oh.
Yeah, that's you would know that is kind of standard guild practice. Like outside of a contract, what you guys find is yours to do with what you will.
So we take this many and have some each?
Now, yeah, here's my query. Because I know we spoke about it before on what's his guild treasure. What about splitting, like, instead of what we actually find in the guild, but doing a treasury out of separate things? So contracts are our own, but loot we could do a treasury with.
So like a communal.
Because it's kind of like, because it's like bonus. Like, we're still going to get the guild from the contract, and this is a bonus on top. It's up to you guys. I was just thinking, because it wouldn't be a bad idea if we could have spare money to the side for everyone down the line. Just posing a question.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Because when it comes to so much spare money...
I don't suppose there are any crystals about, bees, or anything nice like that, I suppose, please?
You can't
also,
see any.
This is one to Crispy. Out of curiosity, is this just a bit of scenery, this kind of sarcophagus-looking motherfucker over here?
That's what Guy just examined.
Well, no, this is just...
Oh, I thought you examined the mural.
The mural is on the fountain. This appears to be an altar.
Oh.
What?
Shall we go have a look?
Because I thought that's what he was examining as well.
No, I thought
No,
he was
the
examining
mural is kind of like around the base of this fountain here.
Does it have a mask on it?
No, it does not have a mask.
Does it have a bow on it? Just out of curiosity.
It's
I don't think...
It's a stone altar. It's been there for well, Tarek, you probably estimate this has been here for close to 20,000 years.
20,000 years.
So I don't think my perception checks would show much if anyone else wanted to.
Yes, any tracks have long since worn away. But yes, the altar seems to be that this was not only a kind of a historical recording of kind of their empire, it also seemed to serve a practical purpose of some sort.
Shit.
I mean, can anyone do anything?
Well, it's one of those things where, as like, if you guys, because it's going to be getting on for evening time anyway, so if you were to camp, Torek could probably continue his work.
Clever ones figure this out.
Okay.
Well, I could do like a religion check on it, but if there's no sort of markings and it's so
yeah,
old...
sure. Roll me a religion, please.
Okay.
Oh.
So my religion is a good one, I think. +5.
That's me in the corner.
You're right. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm getting mileage out of
that's
this
a
template.
9.
And then +4 from Guy's historian.
+4
so-
or +D4?
That's a good question. Is it
Historian. It's
it's your
plus
proficiency bonus, isn't it? So
Yeah.
it'll be +3.
Oh, +3. So it's 12.
12. So you kind of are directed to this second panel of these kind of creatures. gathered around what looks to be an altar. And you can tell that this ritual clearly revolves around this kind of stone. You know that a lot of certain gems have the potential to kind of either store, transmit, or genuinely manipulate energy, both magical and other. So you kind of realize that this stone seems to be the centerpiece of their ritual they're enacting. Okay. So, guessing then the loot you will decide how to split. Who is keeping hold of the teapot? Just so I know who to add it to.
That sounds like a Toric sort of item to me.
Or Triss, because she's the
actually,
charming one.
I would
Yes.
say Triss, actually.
Face of the group with +5 charisma. If anyone's
Yeah.
going to sit down and have tea with any one of you, it's probably going to be Triss.
I don't like the taste of tea. I prefer orange juice.
I only drink Monster Energy.
Officially licensed.
Click down in the link below.
For Buzz energy drink.
It's
Boomer
fucking
Blade
advertising
energy
on
drink.
its, Boomer Blade, yeah. Okay, so Toric kind of continues to work maniacally, kind of through the night. It seems that his kind of energy alone from his enthusiasm is enough to kind of like pretty much negate any need he has for any meaningful rest this evening. But the rest of you kind of are able to relax a bit. It's nice and warm in here as the rocks kind of start to cool now that the dragon isn't there to keep them hot, but it's a comfortable temperature. With the net still in place over the entrance, you've got a fairly secure camp for the night. So, Toric, what's going to happen is there are certain tidbits of knowledge in this thing, and I'm going to make you roll history checks for each of them to see how much of a picture you get.
Okay.
So, roll me the first one, please.
Oh, boy.
Can anybody be there to help him with it?
It doesn't look like he needs help. That's a
25.
So
Holy shit.
you work out that the kind of creatures here referred to themselves as the Tildraish, which I will spell, don't worry. So TILDRAISH. And originally they lived in this world long before any of the races you're familiar with. They lived quite squalid existences, hiding from all the kind of like creatures, and the mural seems to depict, the creatures were horrifically ferocious back then, more so than you've seen. And now we'll move on to the second bit of knowledge. Another history check, please.
I will just. Ooh. Exciting. 13.
That's still good enough, actually. That's probably all you needed. The second kind of picture in this mural, as you kind of look closely into the ritual and the writings near it, and you kind of begin to decipher the actual text, it seems that these creatures kind of managed to, under the kind of rule of a powerful but curiously unnamed chief, kind of come together and find a series of stones capable of kind of containing vast quantities of energy, and conducted a ritual in which they bound. You not sure exactly what the word translates as. There's no real kind of words in your language for it, but the closest you can think of is probably goddess, named Kovtara, trapping her essence in these 5 stones. The next history roll, please, for the final one.
17.
A good one. So, with Koftara fully bound within these stones, the monstrosities of the world were unable to continue their existing on this plane and faded out, allowing the Tildrache to establish a large continent-spanning civilization. And that's all the information on this mountain. Not mountain, on this fountain. There you are. Almost got it.
Holy shit.
As I work that out, I just scribble the last word in my book and just whisper to myself, Savari. Eureka.
So this, to put this in context, like the kind of scale of this discovery would be like somebody coming along and telling us that there was an advanced civilization, probably like the technological level of like spacefaring for us before the dinosaurs.
I was right. I was always right.
Yes, Torek, for you, this is a big moment. This is kind of like vindication. All those fools in the Archaeological Society, they didn't believe you, but here you stand with not concrete, but flagstone evidence. And that is where we're going to leave a session for tonight. Well done, everybody. Good fights.
Fuck yes, I took
that
the
was good.
historian feat for a damn
That was
reason.
sick, man.
That was cool as heck.
That was
alright.
cool as heck.
So,
That was great.
Holy
yes,
shit.
obviously no level up, but
Oh.
yeah, for some reason I can't pick up things stacked on other things, so I have to move phantom.
Firetooth over here with the 39 damage turn.
That was
so much fun.
You
That was
guys,
fantastic. I can't physically put out anything close to that.
you guys had a lot of crits there. That was pretty mad.
Yeah.
high all over again.
The bosses, this is bad. This is bad for our future.
Well, the thing is, because like beforehand, like with the Leshen, it was like, okay, he gets an action. Maybe it's the action economy. So I bumped the dragon up to having 3 actions. The fire breath costing 2. And it's just he still doesn't seem to do much. So
Well, I think also
I think
the last 3 fights we've had have all been single targets as well. haven't they?
yeah.
So
that's the
and
thing.
also level 5 is a huge step up.
Yeah,
Power
Level
leap,
5 is a
yeah.
big step up.
big.
We will, and I know you don't like Kobold Fight Simulator. I know you.
Oh no, I
know you
do.
hate
I
it.
use that. I use that a lot.
But we are technically balanced against CR10 right now.
Dang.
We could do CR10s